delicious. You know when I think DLC is at its best? When it's a developer getting a second chance to go back and remaster their own game the way they truly wanted. To add all the little touches and details that, for one reason or another, had to be cut the first time around. The Binding of Isaac Rebirth is a good example of this. Oddworld New and Tasty is a good example of this. At the time of writing, I've yet to find out whether No Man's Sky Next fits that bill. And what we have here is another great example. One of the best games of last year, coming back in its most enjoyable form yet. One of the big draws of Plus is not only that it adds 2 more characters, but they're both fan favorites and haven't shown up in years. Mighty the Armadillo is actually a really good beginner character. He has all of Sonic's abilities except the drop dash, and when he curls up in a ball, say during jumping, spin dashing, slamming down, or even by ducking, he is immune to a surprisingly large number of hazards. He can bounce off spikes, deflect swords, and even eat certain projectiles no problem. Of course, he can only do that once per roll-up, so don't try to use it as a crutch or anything. Ray the Flying Squirrel, as somebody in my Twitch chat aptly put it, is basically the cape from Super Mario World. Not a bad thing considering that was a pretty cool power-up anyway, and these levels are actually designed around it. Tails, though, is still pretty broken. If you want collectibles, he's your guy. And trust me when I say you're gonna need him this time around. See, Plus includes something called Encore Mode. I'm actually surprised this is available from the start, because story-wise, it picks up where Mania Mode leaves off and remixes the levels to be a bit more difficult. Now don't worry, it's not Octo expansion. It doesn't assume that you've already beaten and thoroughly mastered the original. You could hop into this, even blind, and have a pretty pleasant time. Right up until you start getting into the bonus stages. Merely finding the large rings you need to access them is a pain in Encore Mode. They are tucked away in some really obscure places, not even necessarily rewarding you for keeping to the top path like is usually the safe bet. And as for the levels themselves, whoo boy, Mania Mode's bonuses are going to seem like a cakewalk when you're done here. What really sets Encore Mode apart, though, is how it handles the concept of lives. There are 5 characters in the game now, and in Encore Mode, you technically get to control all 5 of them at once. 2 are always on screen, and you can use the boxes with the question mark and swap arrows to tag out the other people in your party right now. If you happen to die, that character is removed from the team and is replaced by someone you have left. But the thing I really like about this is that you might not even have to start off at your last checkpoint, depending on where it happens. The next guy in line will simply pop in right there and then. That's why a lot of the 1-up crates in the original are replaced with character boxes in this mode. This is also both a blessing and a curse. I do appreciate how little of my time and energy this method wastes, but whatever killed your last character might still be there to cause problems, and if you're in Chemical Plant Zone, get mentally prepared to spontaneously lose half your team to rapid-fire collision malfunctions. Speaking of checkpoints, blue spheres take a backseat in Encore Mode, instead being replaced by a pinball machine a la Sonic Adventure. Pinball is the fastest and safest way you can replenish your team's reserves, get a shield, and even stock up on a few more rings. Provided you're good at it, of course. Here's what I like about this. In Mania Mode, you always felt the need to play blue spheres because of how long it takes to get all the medals. You take every opportunity presented because it's a chance to unlock more content or get special rewards. This could really drag out the length of some of the stages and make the game feel way longer than it probably should have. But if I have a full team and a shield, I can comfortably skip these bonuses and not even have to break stride. I can actually focus on playing the game. Yeah, weird, I know. And most of the other changes are polish related. New little animations, small extra scenes to flesh things out a bit and make area transitions make more sense, and a couple more beloved callbacks and Easter eggs for the old school fans. There's really nothing to complain about here. It's a more complete version of an already pretty complete game. I can't think of anything that could possibly add to it from here. And what they put in more than justifies the asking price. I'll give Sonic Mania Plus my rating of cheesy sticks. It's the best possible complement to something that was already enjoyable. It's what turns your pizza from dinner to an event, from a snack into a full-blown meal. They're definitely worth having together, even if you're paying a little extra.